Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Wednesday, the 11th of January. I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yep, all good, thanks. Right, let's get going. Cornish Metals have come out with an exploration update. What's the news there, Paul?
Yes, that's right. Apparently, a new drilled tin discovery near the south end of the South Crofty tenements in Cornwall. 8 drill holes in what the area they call Cairnbury South, the exploration area. And those drill holes all showing tin mineralization, which apparently confirms up dip, near surface, and extensions on what was called the Great Flat Lode historically, as well as a new style target of disseminated mineralization called the Wide Formation, which is parallel north and beneath the Great Flat Lode. And we're talking about higher grade intercepts of a couple of meters in well over 1% tin in several of the holes. So it's definitely something really meaningful from the standpoint that it's easy for them to access and shallow mineralization, so it can be brought into a production scenario fairly early and inexpensively, I would think. We'll see how it develops out in further drilling definition.
Yeah, they announced recently that they'd acquired some extra acreage, I think, either on this patch of land or certainly very close to it, because that was targeting that addition was to target the Great Flat Lode. So it looks like they've done well to get that secured before
this kind of
results.
news becomes evident. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that whole area of land is pegged. So that's good for them. Right, quarterly results or full year. I think Tharissa's come up with some numbers. What are the highlights there, Paul?
Yeah, on Tharissa, it's the Q1 production statement coming out there. And for their information, I'm trying to pull it up here, actually. Sorry about that. I can't access it at the moment.
What have we got? PGM output marginally lower versus the prior quarter at 42.7 thousand ounces, although slightly up on last year's year-on-year at 45.3. Chrome output was down due to the ore mix variability, although grades were consistent. They've maintained their production guidance for H2 of this year between 175,000 and 885,000 ounces PGMs, and 1.75 to 1.85 million tons of chrome concentrates. As I think we said before, the price of the underlying commodities has been the main driver of the share price recently. But Paul, I think you've highlighted some of the trends in relation to Chinese stockpiles that may be of benefit.
That's right. And the other thing is the announcement relatively blank as far as what the power issues around ESCOM are concerned, which would suggest that the risk otherwise has those impacts relatively mitigated for their operations at this point, which would be a good sign.
Cool. Okay. Ferrexpo have come out with Q4 and full year production results. Any thoughts there, Paul?
Yeah, it's surprisingly good news, I would say, because Ferrexpo, of course, all of their operations in the Ukraine, so impacted by all of that war activity going on there. They did have full year production of commercial concentrates of 124,000 tons, represented 2% of the total iron ore output for this year, where that and they are concentrating on the high grade 65% iron, the direct reduction pellets in order to maximize the value per ton when they are constrained otherwise by the amount of electricity that they can source. They only have one pelletizer operating out of four, so that they have because of these power issues with the power getting knocked out by missiles around the country. So they did have production total for the year down 46%, but they are still making their regular deliveries according to what they can arrange with outside sources. So surprisingly, have been amenable to these issues in what is otherwise a very challenging production environment for them.
Okay. I think that's probably everything for today. We'll call it a day there and be back tomorrow. Thanks, Paul.
Very good. We'll see you then.